Hi there, this is Sarah Natelli and you're watching CMS TV. Stay colorful.
The collective known as Exodus, you guys don't end up hating each other like so many other bands. Man, somebody leaves a band and there's usually nothing but hate. But you guys all seem to just come back together. How does that happen?
Yeah, well, honestly, bro, it's super tough being in a band. It's not easy. It's not all fun and games. You're dealing with it's like being married, bro. Like Gary said in his interviews about Zet, it's like being married to 5 guys that you have to live with on a bus, and it's egos conflict, and everybody wants to be heard and seen, and it's like it's really fragile sometimes. But I think as far as Exodus goes, in a nutshell, since '84 to present, I think that the word most important that describes that whole scenario with band members leaving and coming back, and the whole longevity is a very, very huge word in that band, and respect. You know what I mean? So I think with Tom and Gary and Jack and Lee and me, I think the most important thing there is respect.
It is Chris Akin Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Akin. And today on the show, you all know me. You know my favorite place for heavy metal has always been San Francisco. Love the Bay Area thrash scene, always have. Loved living out there for a few years where I got to experience it firsthand, right in the height of it. And now there's this new band featuring all of the bands that I love. The band is called Nefarious. They have a brand new release called Addicted to Power. It's out on July the 18th. And here to talk all about it is the guitarist of the band, and you might know him from another band that we've talked about a time or 1,000 here on the show. Of course, we're talking about Rick Hunolt. Rick, how are you, man?
Good, man. How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. It's great to talk to you.
Me, brother. I appreciate it. Sorry for the mishap.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, let's get into Nefarious, man. I love what you're doing here. You took all elements of so many of the best bands from the Bay Area, classic scene, I'll call it.
Yeah.
But you formed a record that doesn't leave you walking away going, well, it sounds like Exodus with a new voice, or it sounds like Hyrax with a new guitar. I mean, you guys feel like a band, not a super group or an all-star collection.
Yeah, so I mean, when we first came out, there are some names in this band, and I get that, but the supergroup title is a little much for us. We're just a bunch of dudes playing metal, bro, and we've been doing this for a lifetime. So, I mean, what you can call us whatever you want. We call ourselves an old school thrash metal band. Bay Area old school is what we are, and that's what naturally happens when we all pick up our instruments and play, because that's all we know, really. You know what I mean? So, sure. We have roots, of course, and those roots are going to inspire certain styles of music. Where with me, you get the Exodus style. With Doug, you get the Heathen, Anvil Chorus, Blind Illusion style. With Will, you get the thrash, DA style. I mean, there's a lot of different blood, and Caton, you get the Hyrax, right? So, but I think if you meld it all together, it's a good mix of like Bay Area old school thrash.
Right on. Well, how is the scene out there now? I have friends that live out there, and they say that the old school guys are still very much a collective unit. It's like the one style that did not fade away. Do you see that?
I do see that. I see that in in a healthy, great way for the scene, because the youngsters need something to feed off of. You know what I mean? Without getting lost, and lacking direction, so to speak. I mean, I guess that's what you could say. There's a lot of great new talent coming up from the Bay Area right now. So yeah, I mean, we appreciate the love that we get, but we're not going anywhere, bro. You know, I'll be 62 July 1st. Is when our next single is gonna drop.
Right.
So, but we're not going anywhere. I'm not done playing. You know, we're not trying to get rich off this. We're not trying to. Basically, we all have other stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's something that we love to do and we'll never stop doing. We have minimal expectations, but we're filled with gratitude. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Definitely.
you know, and we like to be there for the younger cats. There's bands called, you know, we got bands. Frolic is a really up and coming band from the Bay Area. Parabellum is doing really well. They're crushing. Phantom Witch is doing really, really well. And you know, we've got the metal scene is alive and well. I mean, all the shows are doing well. Necrot just sold out the DNA. And of course, you know, we've got Testament and Death Angel and all these other bands that are coming up. I mean, that have been here forever and ever and ever. They're doing well.
Sure.
So,
right on.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, one thing I've been curious about, and just because I don't live there anymore, is where is there to play? I mean, back I was there from 89 to 92. So, you know, that was the true glory scene. And, you know, sight unseen, I was either at the Omni or the Stone or Ruthie's or somewhere every weekend. Didn't even matter.
The on Broadway, there was tons of places. Okay, so the Keystones are gone, the MAB is gone, but now we have the UC Theater in Berkeley, which is a killer, where the bigger bands will play. And we have the Cornerstone in Berkeley, which is literally like 3 or 4 blocks apart from each other. And we have, you know, the Warfield in the city. We have the Regency. We have the Great American Music Hall. And we have the DNA, of course. There's a lot of places to play. Thank goodness, you know, for the youngsters.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
the new clubs in the Cornerstone is awesome in the Berkeley, and the UC Theater is like a really, really good place to play. It's like the Cornerstone. It's owned by the family that runs, I believe, that owns what's the sound company out? Meyer Sound. You know, they have the flagship Meyer Sound in that club, in that theater. So it's a really, really incredible place to play.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, let's dig into Nefarious, your band. Let's not, you know, where people aren't watching to get a tour of San Francisco. They want to know about the music. And
absolutely.
And this thing is exactly as advertised. It's a straight up ass kicker, thrash metal, classic sounding record. Obviously, the core to it, in my mind, is the twin guitar attack. You and Doug, you know, you both thrash legends for people that have followed this stuff, but you also both had very sort of different and distinctive styles, but you merged it really well here, you know, like I said at the beginning, I don't listen to this go, well, that sounds like Heathen, or that sounds like Exodus or Hyrax or nothing. I mean, you guys found, in a weird way, you found a different new sound that's all your own, and I'm assuming it starts with the guitars. Is that accurate?
That's a killer compliment, actually, to tell you the truth. That means a lot. Because, you know, everybody's striving for their identity in this crazy thrash world. So yeah, I think it starts with guitar, but that's not to say that the drums and the bass and everything else isn't as important. If you listen to this music, bro, and you listen to the rhythm section, the drums and the bass, it's pretty phenomenal what they're doing. Tom Gear is like, he's like probably one of the premier bass players out here in the whole Bay Area as far as metal goes. He plays in a band called Ancient Mariner, It's an Iron Maiden cover band, and they are really, really acclaimed out here in the Bay Area. And they do, dude. And you know, to be in a good Iron Maiden cover band, as the bass player, you know, you're representing Steve Harris, right?
Right.
So he is just a phenomenal bass player, but you have to listen. And me and Doug were just like, we made it a point to make sure that he is heard loud and clear, buddy, in all of this music, you know. And what that entails for us to take our stuff down a little bit.
Okay.
So and we have no problem doing that because we want Tom to be happy and we want him to be heard because he's that good. And Will has a lot to do with the songwriting process in this band. So me and Doug will write the riffs, and I will send all my riffs to Doug, and Doug and will sit in a studio and actually arrange this music, right? So Will has a really, really important job in this band. Not only does he have like so much thrash experience, he's also in like 27 other bands. And I don't know how he remembers all these parts, but he's got a wicked knack for Will has got an ear that you wouldn't believe. He hears stuff that most people don't hear.
Sure.
And so that makes him really valuable in arranging this music because he's filled with great ideas and, you know, and dynamics, and he's so powerful, and he's really, really just a great drummer and a great dude, you know. So I would say that, you know, me and Doug, we're a big part of it, you know, musically, but everybody else has their part in it too.
Sure.
And I will add that that's what makes this band pretty special. You know what I mean? It's like me and Doug aren't trying to take all the limelight or none of that. We just want everything, as far as we're concerned, is song oriented. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's the album that changed everything, Metallica's Black Album. In Cause and Effect, Metallica, author Chris Akin takes you back to the lead-up, the release, and the shockwaves that followed. Relive the moment that divided fans, reshaped heavy metal, and turned commercial radio on its ear. With insider stories and personal memories from rock critic and radio personality Chris Akin, this book is a backstage pass to one of rock's most iconic moments. Get your copy now at chrisakin.net or on Amazon. Don't miss out on this epic journey through heavy metal history.
Well, let's dig into the songs. I always try to start off with what is moving me, which may not move anybody else, but my favorite on this is kind of an easy choice. I love Snarler. Just a nasty song.
So you heard the whole record?
I have.
Holy mackerel! Okay, so I had no idea. So did Tambray send you that, or John Freeman, or
Freeman? Yeah,
Freeman sent you the whole record.
Yep.
Holy cow! So yeah, Snarler's badass, right?
Yeah, it is what when I think of thrash, that's what I think of. You know, is that style, that riff,
because the audience, the people that are listening to this or going to listen to this haven't heard it yet.
They have not heard it yet. They probably will by the time this releases. But
Snarler is okay. So when we were in the songwriting process, we were kind of in a rush because there was okay. So there was 6 songs finished that me and Doug had finished. Me and Doug and Will. And so we had created, we sat down and created a timeline for the release and the drop of the singles, and we hired Freeman and Munzie to do radio and Freeman to do our publicity. So they sat down and put together this timeline, and it kind of put us in a time crunch with these deadlines that we had to fill, right? So so I'm like, Doug, we need 2 songs, like stat. So I wrote Avatar of Chaos, and Doug wrote Snarler, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they both turned out crazy good. And I'm glad you like Snarler, because Snarler it's not a really fast song. It's not a fast song,
right?
But it's one of those crunchy, like mid-tempo rhythm guitar harmony part type songs that turned out really, really real. And then, yeah, and there's not a lot of guitar not a lot of guitar solos in the song, actually. There's 2 small solos in the song, but there's a cool harmony at the end, and there's a lot of little rhythm harmonies, we call them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really fun song, and it's about a crazy topic, right? It's pretty tongue in cheek.
Right on, man. Other song that I wanted to ask you about was Master Plan, which, that's another killer as well, man. But tell me about that song.
Okay, so that's a song that is absolutely the slowest and most non-heavy, and we as a band chose that band to be the second single for just to put out there what we're doing as not being like a one like all speed,
one trick pony type deal.
Pony, you know what I mean? And it's heavy. We went back and forth with this as a band, because my personal opinion was I think we should come out the gate 1, 2 real fast. Okay.
Sure.
Addicted to Power is the title track, and it is a focus track on the record, which is super fast.
Right on. Do you feel like by having some material, and obviously I kind of targeted some of the slower material, do you feel like I feel like that's a good indicator so that people won't go into it just blindly comparing to Exodus or Death Angel or Hyrax or, the other bands?
That's
I feel like
point.
it gives
that's actually really, yeah, that's a good point. Something that I haven't given a lot of thought to, but now that you bring it up, yeah, absolutely. It's a good point. Honestly, to be completely honest, bud, we didn't go into the songwriting process of this project. I don't think not one time was it ever mentioned that we might want to keep away from sounding like Exodus.
Okay.
I think it was just a natural. All this music is just what happens when we play. You know what I mean? When I play, what I do in my songwriting process is I'll just pick a beat, and I'll just sit here in my studio and I'll run a drum beat forever.
Right.
The thrash beat, like that thrash beat, right?
Yep.
So I'll just run that beat, and I'll just sit there and just play until I like certain riffs, and then I'll record it, put them together, and then send them off to Doug. You know what I mean? And then he'll put his 2 cents in, and then we'll get on the phone and say, yo, dude, let's put a harmony here. Let's do this, that. Let's do this, and then and that's basically how it goes.
Right on. Now, Rick, what does having Nefarious do for you with DieHumane? Is that still going? Or is that on hiatus? Or?
We've got new music already written, coming in, dropping in the fall with some killer collabs that we did with some Bay Area metal titans,
right.
Singers. Yeah, that's and it's still as insane and weird as it always has been. Maybe a little weirder, but we have some really cool collaborations going on right now with people. I'm not going to mention any names, but it's pretty cool.
That's cool. Do you like having more than one project so that you can explore different ideas and have good places to put them?
I do, bud. I do. It's pretty interesting what the DieHumane stuff is right. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do any shows because of our schedules, and our singer is a high school teacher.
Okay.
So, he's just got done taking all these tests and these courses to become an actual supervisor for his school district. So he's pretty hard he's available during the summer and sometimes during Christmas, like a couple of weeks, you know. So it's difficult with that project. But we're never going to stop trying. If it's right, we'll do some shows. Plus, they live in Texas and I live in California, so you know we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and see what happens with that.
Right on, man.
But I do, to answer your question, I love the challenge.
Yeah, I love that project. That I mean, I really like this one too. But I mean, that I'll be honest. When I first heard DieHumane, I was like, "Woo, what is this?" You know, I didn't even put together that you were in it at first. You know, it just was kind of background noise, and I was just like, "All right, this goes into some strange places." But yeah, it's such a cool project.
Yeah, you know what? I love the project with all my heart, and that's why I do it. When I first heard it, I was like, wow. And I had the chance to jump on that ship. I was like, okay. So when I first had the chance to jump on that ship, I hadn't picked up a guitar in like 10 years, bro.
Oh, wow.
I was just really, really busy bringing up my kids, and I barely had any gear. I had nothing, you know what I mean? I had maybe a guitar that I didn't even have an amp. So I had to go out and get some gear and put together a little studio so I could actually, you know, participate in the songwriting process. But I'm just so thankful that those guys gave me the opportunity to fall in love with the guitar again, dude.
Sure.
Because, you know, it was tough. Those 10 years were tough. I have a family that I had to bring up, and I had to get a real job and put in some real hours on the workforce and do that, you know. But it gave me that. I fell in love with the guitar again, dude, and I cherish that.
Well, you're certainly playing like you didn't take a 10-year hiatus, that's for sure.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, man, obviously with a new record will come the touring question, which in this band I have to just ask. I mean, is there going to be time to do it? Everybody's working.
You know, we're going to make time. Absolutely. Okay. The goal for this band is to get to Europe and play some festivals and to get out in the United States and play some real shows, you know. And for me personally, it's been a long time coming. I haven't done a real show. I've done plenty of like guest spots and traveled with Exodus to do some guest spots, but to play a whole set live, I haven't done it since 2012.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a big deal for me. I'm so excited. So the show is at the DNA, January 19th, in San Francisco. It's a record release party.
Okay.
If you're interested in checking out the album, you can do it at nefariousband.com.
Okay.
The album drops the 18th of July, and the next single will be, and next single and video will be July 1st.
Okay, very good, man. Hey, it's Chris Akin from the Classic Metal Show, Chris Akin Presents, and the Seth Williams Show, straight from the uncensored heart of the CMS network. We've just been crowned a certified Rumble creator, and that means we're bringing the heat. All our shows, commercial free, baby. Advanced episode drops, sometimes months before the normal release, so you're not stuck waiting. You'll get all this plus exclusive content for Rumble Premium subscribers that'll blow your mind. And with Rumble Premium, you'll get every CMS Network show and all of Rumble's other videos with no ads and no fluff. This is our official home, Rumble. It's raw, powerful, and unfiltered. You want in? Just hit us up at rumble.com/register/classic metal show to sign up for free commenting, chat live, and just your ability to join the chaos of all of our shows. Then while you're there, swing by any of our videos, smash that Rumble Premium button, and level up. Subscribe now. Don't sleep on this. Hit the link in the description.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you one Exodus question, and it's not like a current one, but it's just a more kind of encompassing. Obviously the news of late, the biggest news was Zet leaving and Duke's coming back.
Yeah.
You've been out of the band, and then you've, like you just said, then you toured with the band, but you weren't in the band.
Right.
Just seems like everybody, I don't know, you guys, that the collective known as Exodus, you guys don't end up hating each other like so many other bands. Man, somebody leaves a band and there's usually nothing but hate, but you guys all seem to just come back together. How does that happen?
Yeah, well, honestly, bro, it's super tough being in a band. It's not easy. It's not all fun and games. You're dealing with it's like being married, bro. Like Gary said in his interviews about Zet, it's like being married to 5 guys that you have to live with on a bus, and it's egos conflict, and everybody wants to be heard and seen, and it's like it's really fragile sometimes. But I think as far as Exodus goes, in a nutshell, since '84 to present, I think that the word most important that describes that whole scenario with band members leaving and coming back, and the whole longevity is a very, very huge word in that band, and respect. You know what I mean? So I think with Tom and Gary and Jack and Lee and me, I think the most important thing there is respect. I mean, that's why there has been that longevity and love. We're all best friends, bro.
Sure.
We've been best friends since before we could buy alcohol. So, I mean, it's not easy.
Right.
It's just not easy. So my message to the youngsters is make sure that you get along, and to make a band work and to achieve that longevity, sometimes there has to be sacrifice. You know what I mean? And sometimes you 150% have to be a team player. If you're not going to last 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Sure. And this is the last time I'll ask about the old days, and we'll wrap up here, but
I don't mind talking about the old days.
Oh, it's all good. You got this to promote. I don't want to turn it into that. That's all I'm saying. But
thanks, I appreciate that, bro. A lot of people don't understand it. Yeah.
But my question is, do you take pride in, or maybe pride isn't the word, but do you think that the cohesiveness and the friendship of Exodus in some part stems from the fact that every band that came after you, or up with you even, still reflects on Exodus as the band that defined thrash metal? And I mean that, you still see James Hetfield today saying that about, if it wasn't for Exodus and the house parties, there wouldn't have been a Metallica, and there wouldn't have been
That's funny. Okay, so listen. So I did an interview a couple weeks ago, and I had mentioned that Exodus had a lot to do with inspiring the old thrash metal bands like Slayer. And some metal outlets got a hold of it, and then there was and I appreciate all the metal outlets, dude. They give me nothing but love, and I really, really appreciate all of it. And I appreciate the conversation that it creates within the community, because that's healthy, right? I believe it to be healthy, as long as nobody's saying bad stuff about each other. But it's nice to be able to talk about,
right.
In a positive way, because I'm all about the positive, because that's what music is supposed to be. So, and I will die on the hill that Exodus inspired a lot of the metal back then. You know what I mean? I firmly believe that. And there's people that are going to say no, that's not true, and they're going to argue the timeline. But I was there. Okay, I was there. And I was there, and I got to play with all these bands, and we were all friends, and we all inspired each other, period. Bottom line. That's the absolute facts. And to answer your question, bro, it's an honor. You know, I consider myself to be extremely lucky. You know what I mean? To be a part of something that became so massive and so outrageously cool. You know what I mean? And, you know, a lot of it has to do that I was just at the right place at the right time. You know, you hear that all the time.
Sure.
And there's a truth to it. But on the other end of that coin, there's a lot of work that goes involved, and a lot of work that's involved in that. And I think that, dude, I think that being a nice guy goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I really do. And I'm a nice guy, dude. I love everybody. I want everybody to get along. I want the good for mankind as a whole collective. So
sure.
You know, I feel like, and this is another message for the youngsters, dude. Is just, it pays to be kind, bro.
Mm-hmm. What's paid you with 40 whatever years of being able to stay in the game, man?
Especially in this day and age, nobody wants to work with an ass. You know what I mean? So It's the truth, bro. It's the truth. You know,
right on. Well, dude, obviously, man, there's this great new record. Everybody needs to check it out. July the 18th, it is released. It's Addicted to Power. It is Nefarious. Where's the best place, Rick, for us to tell people to go to hear the record? I know you said it once, but let's give it to them one more time.
NefariousBand.com.
Very good.
Yeah, you can get it on any streaming site, and you can watch the videos on YouTube and all that. But Nefarious, everything is at NefariousBand.com.
They're going to be stuff to actually purchase, because we try to tell everybody not to just stream it, but to actually buy something.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, there's a video attached to the single "Addicted to Power," but there's also going to be another video that we did for the same song that was like way more. We made a really killer video for "Addicted to Power." Okay, cool. We actually were in the video. It's freaking brilliant. I love it. But we decided to shelve it and not attach it to the single because of all the stuff that's going on with Iran in the Middle East.
Right.
You know, we don't want to be that band. So, but if you want to check it out, go to the website. It'll be there like a week after the drop.
Nice. Very good.
It's really killer.
Cool, man. Well, one more time, the album is Addicted to Power. It's Nefarious, July 18th. Rick, this has been fun. Thanks for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.
On Bleeding Priest and Hectic Records, July 18th. Check it out.
Perfect.
Hey, thanks for having me, bud.
Get ready to turn up the excitement at your next event with the Perfect Choice Band, the ultimate party starters in Ohio and beyond. Picture this: 2 electrifying vocalists, a powerhouse rhythm section, and a horn ensemble that will blow you away. That's right, the Perfect Choice Band isn't just another cover band. We're here to transport you to the heart of the party with unforgettable renditions of your favorite hits. From classics to chart toppers, we've got your playlist covered. Our mission? To keep you singing and dancing until the stars fade into dawn. So, why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Call 440-346-5242 or visit us at perfectchoiceband.com to book the ultimate entertainment experience for your special day. The Perfect Choice Band, where every moment is music to your ears. Don't miss out. Book now and let's make memories together.